From a psychological perspective, making such a statement to a grieving abused mother is an extreme form of psychological abuse and secondary victimization. Rather than offering support, the speaker is actively weaponizing the woman's trauma against her. Here's a breakdown of the psychological mechanisms, motives, and impacts beyond the specific type of cruelty. The psychological impact on the victim. Severe re-traumatization. The statement targets her two deepest points of vulnerability: the trauma of abuse and the profound grief of losing a child. It forces her to relive the helplessness of both experiences simultaneously. Inducing self-doubt and guilt. Bereaved mothers naturally struggle with irrational guilt or thoughts of what I could have done differently. Telling her the child is better off exploits this vulnerability, aiming to make her feel responsible for the child's death or unfit as a parent. In the case of domestic violence, it is never the fault of the mother if someone put hands on them during pregnancy. Erosion of worth. Abuse already damages a person's self-esteem. Hearing the child is better off dead than in her care, or in a world where she exists, is designed to shatter any remaining sense of maternal adequacy and personal worth. Deepened isolation. This level of cruelty signals to the victim that her environment is profoundly unsafe, often causing her to withdraw entirely from others to protect herself from further emotional harm. The motives and psychology of the perpetrator. Malicious cruelty and sadism. In psychological terms, this behavior often stems from everyday sadism or severe personality pathology, such as antisocial or narcissistic traits. The perpetrator derives a sense of power and gratification from inflicting emotional pain. Control and domination. In an abusive dynamic such as this, control is maintained by keeping the victim off balance, broken, and dependent. By attacking her at the weakest moment, the abuser attempts to establish total psychological dominance. Dehumanization. To say something so violating of universal human empathy requires the speaker to completely dehumanize the victim. They view her not as a person experiencing grief, but as a target for their hostility. The concept of secondary victimization. The second wound. In psychology, secondary victimization occurs when a victim of a crime or trauma is further harmed by the cruel, blaming, or insensitive reactions of others. Violation of social expectation. Humans have an evolutionary expectation of community support during profound loss. When that expectation is met with severe hostility instead, the psychological shock and damage can sometimes surpass the impact of the original trauma. They have systematically targeted me with this every year for the past 5 years on my birthday. The generational targeting was occurring with my parents, who lost my dad to suicide in 2008. That was nothing short of an intentional assassination attempt, and I hope that that bitch winds up square in jail where she belongs. You should not be going that far out of your way to mock, laugh at, ridicule, stalk, and traumatize someone you don't know from Adam, just because you are in a position of authority to do so. It is not fucking right, and you damn sure have no moral superiority over me whatsoever.